powerful purgatory story. For those of you that don't know, this is a personal story, and I'm hoping it touches you as to the belief that purgatory does in fact exist and to do everything you can to get your loved ones out of it. Being devout Catholics, my mom and I do believe in it. And as many of you know from past podcasts, my mother was sexually abused by her father for 10 years when she was a little girl until she was a teenager, until just as she turned into a teen. It was very difficult when she told someone what had been happening. That someone told their mom, that mom told my grandmother, and my grandparents thought it was a lie. Of course, my grandfather knew it wasn't a lie. He knew it was the truth, but he pretended it was a lie. And the two of them, and I'm not trying to degrade anyone. This is my grandparents' story. They've since gone to be with the Lord. And as you'll soon hear, I believe if they knew this story would bring souls to Christ, they would definitely allow it. So they beat my mom up for lying about this. So I say all this, you can understand the gravity of what happened and why this story is so important. When they, thought my mom was a troublemaker, they put her into a girls' home and gave up custody of her. And my mom had a very difficult youth because of these things. So years later, being one out of six children, the other children weren't always available there to help my grandparents. As my grandparents aged, my grandmother never had a driver's license. And so when grandpa started getting sick, someone had to take him to the hospital. Despite their past, my mother would take time off of work to drive her sickly father to the hospital. Right there, to me, enough shows what a saint she is. Few people would have done the same. Few would forgive. Few would want him to just burn in hell. Few would definitely, well, many would want that, and many would not want to volunteer. But my mother did. She knew that this was still her parents, and she chose to honor her father and her mother in whatever way she could. Before he died, as my mother was at the side of his hospital bed, he reached over and touched her head. And he said something to her that was just between the two of them.